Good morning. Good morning. My name is Regina Miller, and I have been delivered from bad men 13 years. Session 15. We have made it to session 15. And today I want to talk about the woman who is praying to God for the answers, the woman who is praying to God for the breakthrough, the woman who is praying to God knowing that change needs to be made. That's who I'm talking to today. I am your sister, your auntie, whoever you want me to be, long as you say I'm a child of God, okay? Well, for me, I'm going to use my first example of myself praying to God. When I first remember praying to God about change for my relationship, it was when I was a single mom. When I realized that I had to raise my children alone. It was the most scariest part of my whole entire life, knowing that I, Regina Miller, had to be responsible for someone else alone. And I was a teen mother. I had just lost my daughter, Queen Victoria, at the age of 2. I had to bury a 2-year old. And then I turned around maybe a year later and found myself being a single mom. And I prayed to God. I started getting in my word. My amazing pastor, Bishop Aubrey Baker Jr. from Brooklyn, New York, he was my guide, my mother, my father, and amazing people in my life that just poured into me because I just thought I was just going to die myself. God was my source. And I just want you all to know that, find a friend in Jesus. Find a friend in the Lord. He's going to be your guide. He's going to be your host. And he's going to give you healing. He's going to give you the strength to know that you can make it and move forward. That's what God did for me. Um, every day I would get into my word, and this is how I did it. I would use a scripture that pertained to how I felt. So if I felt like dying, I would look up self confliction or uh, suicide. I would look up those things in the Bible, and it would give me an answer to how I was feeling. And when I would read the scripture, it would truly make me feel better. Giving up on myself and committing suicide was not what God would have ordained. It's not what God would have wanted, and it's not why God made us to be here. We are going to go through things in life. They're called life lessons now that I'm 51 and I've been through it all. I realize they're called life lessons. And listen, every lesson that I learned and every step that I went through, it got me through the next thing. And that's why today I preach only the strong survive, because in doing that with myself and God, I realized that I was strong because each lesson got me to a blessing, and it got me to grow and learn the life lesson. It's not to cop out, it's not to give out, and it's not to give in. It's to stay strong on the path, stay on the road that God has you on. So, as a mother, knowing I had 2 more children, I couldn't give up because at that point, I'm a single mom. So, how can I take myself out or faint when I had children that were depending on me? Just because one parent walked out and abandoned them, I was not going to be that other parent to do so. So, reading the word and seeking God and just staying in positive environments really got me through the rough times. And one thing I will leave with you single moms, if you're watching, my mom surely told me, she said, they're not going to be babies forever. because it seemed like those younger years, oh my God, it seemed like, you in a chokehold, like, oh Lord, and I had two 14 months apart. So I used to call them twins. I said, I have twins. And when you buy for one, I was always buying in twos. So you had to have some coins, right? And I was doing it completely 1000% alone financially. I was the breadwinner for my family, period. I had help on the outer rims, but nobody came and put no cash in my hand. You understand what I'm saying? So every prayer, every scripture, every talk with God made me stronger to know that I have to keep going. I have to keep believing. And so back to the relationship part of it, when I dated someone, I never let nothing come before my children because I was their source, and I didn't let nothing, disturb my mind. I didn't let nothing was greater than being a mother. And that's something that this generation needs to capitalize on. Nothing needs to be greater than your children. I know us women, we want to get out and sow our royal oats, and we want to, have those, entanglements, but nothing was more important than my children. And I made that clear because that was the scariest part of my life. So the session today is, you can have your moments, have your moments. But just understand that if you're raising small children, you need to have your moment, but understand that you are a mother. You are a mother first. God gives us one job, and that is to be a mother. Any other jobs you take on, that's on you. But any woman who bears children, God gave you one job with that, and that is to be a guide, to be a leader. Like they said, uh, God blesses the child that has his own, and how you raise a child sometimes is how they turn out. Not all the time, but most of the time. So that youth, that youth is valuable to how your child is going to think when they grow up, how they're going to live when they grow up. Even I, right now, I'm 51 and I have children over 30. Sometimes I battle with myself. Did the decisions that I made when I was dating while they were little and getting married, did it affect them now? Because I do look at my daughters and be like, where did I go wrong sometime? Okay. Don't look at the pretty pictures all the time. Like I said, people put on the internet what they want you to see. But in the background is the reality. And even me, sometimes I look at my daughters and be like, oh my God, where did I go wrong? Like, and I beat myself up with that because my biggest thing is parenting. Okay. So don't beat yourself up. Just, we're all learning. We're all still learning. We're all growing, but grow with God. Learn with God. Make him your source. In your relationships, I'm telling you, put God first, put your children first, and then do all this other stuff because it's going to matter. It's really going to matter. Because let me tell you something, when you dating someone, they're looking at you. They really not looking at your kids. They really not caring about your kids. No one is going to care about your children more than you. And another thing, people look at how you treat your kids as to how they will treat your kids as well. So that's my session for today. God bless you. My name is Regina Miller. I have been delivered from bad men, and I pray this helps someone. God bless and have a great day.